AEW in danger of losing their TV deal to WWE. Plus, CM Punk played a major part of a WBD pitch for Raw, and a major name is returning at TNA Hard To Kill. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Don't alarm you this early in the morning, particularly if you're getting about and doing your thing, listening to us whilst you're in the shower.
Boo!
Don't wake the family. But AEW's TV deal might be in a bit of bother.
Not looking especially good, according to one report anyway. There's been a lot of conversation over the last 24 hours about a new home for WWE programming and the adverse effect that it could have on AEW. House of Wrestling said sources close to him in WWE say that Triple H, Nick Khan, and Mark Shapiro, that's the chief operating officer of TKO, had a meeting with Warner about securing a new home for WWE Raw. It was reported by PW Insider, who added that the meeting was held with Warner Brothers Chief Revenue and Strategy Officer Bruce Campbell.
Oh, from Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, yeah, it's good.
I'm glad he's doing all right for himself.
Shout out to Ash. We are told that WWE's contingent met with Campbell for several hours Monday morning, with at least part of the meeting taking place in a conference room usually reserved for David Zaslav.
So this is the guy who was a big old fan of CM Punk, counterfeit bucks and all that, real making, there was a lot of love between those two, as CM Punk said in that promo he did on AEW that time. And House of Wrestling reports that CM Punk is actually pretty influential in these meetings taking place. Warner speaking very highly of Punk following his AEW run. Wrestling Observer also adding that CM Punk is, quote, a major part of the pitch. When Punk is in LA for a WWE live event, the plan is that he might be meeting with WBD executives whilst in the area.
It says a lot, doesn't it? He's worth the headache, it seems. Like, whoever's fault, whoever is at fault, CM Punk being such an integral part of TV rights negotiation deals is absolutely massive, because it's a huge chunk of revenue for WWE. For any major promotion, this is where the money is. It's not about house shows anymore. It's not about merch sales. It's about getting the best TV deal. And if WWE were able to get on what is at the moment AEW's network, you've got to believe that if the money's right, that they'd love to do that.
But what would that mean for AEW, who currently have very lucrative deals with WBD?
House of Wrestling have added, the vibe that we've been given is AEW is in danger of not being renewed by WBD or TNT or TBS. One scenario that was given to us was that WWE Raw would move to TNT or TBS. AEW would be moved to Discovery. Two higher-up sources in AEW that were spoken to said that it was news to them and not something that they had heard. Another said, only person who really knows is Zaslav.
There's a few people suggesting that some of these meetings are kind of being kept at the highest possible order, to the point where House of Wrestling's Nick Hausman has said that some of these reports have been denied by his WWE sources, saying that didn't happen. But then other sources have said, no, they did happen. So there's a suggestion that maybe they're very secretive. And Lord knows, as we've learned in the last few weeks, Paul Levesque can be a sneaky, cheeky little top secret boy as and when he needs to be.
And we certainly know that things are done on a need-to-know basis, aren't they? Lots of people aren't told things, both things that we see on screen and things happening behind the scenes. So it certainly wouldn't surprise me if this was the case. If you're Tony Khan, you got to be a bit worried about this for sure.
Especially after what Nick Hausman said on the Rumor and Innuendo show. He said that Nick Hausman said he's very aware of multiple indicators that, quote, things are not going maybe as Tony has projected publicly. And I would not be surprised, says Nick Hausman, to see AEW and Warner maybe part ways next year.
It's a difficult one because, it's a big part of AEW's brand as well. You've got the belts that are named after these stations. It's just
more belts, fine.
Yeah, that's true. It's just
belts.
And they will rebrand them. Wherever they go, they will be rebranded. It's just a little bit of an embarrassing thing if WWE swoop in and do that, but WWE are going to be more than willing to do so. I think the really fascinating thing is just how much of a difference CM Punk is playing in these negotiations, and the fact that reportedly he might be directly involved also plays into what we were talking about yesterday with Punk getting on board with the business side of things. His goal, if it's true, is to take over NXT. But he's also getting involved on TV rights negotiations. We've seen him do stuff in production. We've seen him obviously training, giving feedback. He's doing everything. He's getting as much experience as he can to make himself as valuable as he can when he can't go in the ring anymore. I think he's going to do the Triple H thing. The more we read about this, I really do think that it's so mental. It's mental.
What a time to be alive.
He might be Triple H's underling in 5 years' time. He might be.
And then eventually,
Triple H to Vince. That's going to be Punk to Trips.
And then eventually his ling.
And his ling.
From his underling onwards was Paul wrapped up. Surely the opposite of underling is a ling. I don't know. Happy Christmas. We're going to keep an eye on this story. We'll keep an eye on it at Cultaholic.com throughout the day. Hey, some good TNA wrestling flavoured news. Eddie Edwards is sticking around. He told PW Insider, I don't think it's much of a surprise, as he re-signed his deal to join TNA. I don't think my fans and friends are very much surprised that I'm sticking around. Everybody knows how I feel about this company, especially right now with the momentum that we have with TNA coming back and all of that excitement. And for me, it was a no-brainer. Very happy to be here. Continue to be here as long as I'm able to. Next year is Eddie's 10th year.
That's flown by. If I were to take a punt, I'd say like 5-6 years, but no, it has been 10 years. I think they've really treated him very, very well, and he speaks highly of them. Anytime I see an interview with Eddie Edwards, it's very clear that he's incredibly happy in the company. And with this new era coming in the very, very close future, I'm just glad he's sticking around and he's going to be a part of that, because the guy can certainly still go. I think there's still a few little changes that need to be made. This needs to be a soft relaunch of TNA.
Yeah.
Bringing Hulk Hogan in, Eric Bishop. No, this needs to be a soft relaunch, and they need to have things right, because there's going to be a lot of eyes on TNA when that rebrand formally happens. A lot of us are just calling it TNA already, obviously.
We've been calling it TNA for ages.
What I'm saying is, take the title off of Tommy Dreamer.
Was that the next slide in your PowerPoint presentation?
Very much.
Just sack Pat.
I watched the little interview with him. Did you see it where he's crying his eyes out again? I find it. I just find it a bit sad. And I love Dreamer. Dreamer's done so much. Dreamer's like the stuff that he's done in wrestling is fantastic. But Tommy Dreamer in 2023 is not a good time. I've gone off topic here. God bless Eddie Edwards.
It was his dream to be the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Champion.
It was.
It was his
dream.
And
it's mine too.
And he's a dreamer. Not the only name sticking around with TNA is Eddie Edwards, but look at this, a major name coming back. Now, we saw him pop up last month, first time since the pandemic that we saw it, but El Hijo Delvin Kingo was coming in.
Thank you for saying the name, because I ballsed that up yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, I called him Vikingo or something.
Called him Viking Burger.
Kinky Hijo. He's making his return to the company at Hard To Kill, which is, of course, the first event under the TNA banner. No match has yet been confirmed, but it has been confirmed by the company that he is going to be there and he is going to be in action.
Give me on the Snake Eyes Extravaganza, which is the taping set. Give us, something with Viking. We can't do Osprey.
Tommy
Vikingo,
Dreamer.
can we? Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer, Viking. Two high flyers, two guys full of intensity. Integrity and intelligence.
It's Kurt Angle the ref as well.
He's back as well.
That's a great time had by all. The Hard to Kill weekend shaping up to be something special for TNA, and as you say, like a soft relaunch, as it were.
I'm buzzing for them because, for a long time, like growing up over the last 8 years that I've been doing this, but even before, TNA became, following the Hogan era, and before actually, just in its history, a bit of a meme in some ways. Like the whole TNA thing was very, very much a thing. They've got all the goodwill in the world right now. People are super excited for them. And I just hope they can, and I think they will. I think they're going to pull it off, and I think it's going to be a really, really good show. And obviously, there's a long way to go for them to be on the same level as like an AEW or miles away from WWE, but they're just doing consistently good stuff. And you'll know because you've been on the road with them, but every interaction, they're just full of nice people as well, aren't they?
Can confirm from a source close to Impact and Cultaholic that they're all lovely.
Yeah, just full of people who are actually excited to be there. You never hear TNA talent getting on social media and slagging things off.
Nah.
And you get that in every other company. Actually, don't get me wrong, I love the drama, but it's quite refreshing, isn't it? It's quite nice. People are just happy to be there and having a good time and doing really good work.
The only issue probably I had on the tour was at one point Trinity wanted to top up on a drink on the bus, and it meant that I had to go to the back of the bus and go through lots of very crowded people. It's quite a busy bit on the bus where they were, and it was just, admittedly, that was a problem that I created for myself by offering.
You had to get a new jacket as well because Tommy Dreamer kept crying on it. It was sodden.
Covered in tears. It'll end in tears. And we'll have more wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.